My name is Colleen, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make Bray's North Carolina style pulled pork barbecue. This is Bray. We all know how expensive it can be and how pricey it gets to entertain a lot of people. One pork shoulder usually costs around $20. This one actually only costs us $10, and it can feed upwards of 25 people. When hosting, many of us know the panic of being tasked with feeding a very large group. You may find yourself worrying about how you're going to pay for it and how it's going to satisfy everybody. Here in North Carolina, pulled pork barbecue is a cultural and a social staple. Don't think barbecue is a big deal? Think again. A lot of people have a lot of opinions on how to properly prepare a pig, and North Carolinians tend to have a lot to say about what makes our vinegar-based Q the best. I personally like a vinegar base with extra sweetness. I grew up attending social barbecues and something that we call pig pickins, where everybody pretty much gathers around a really large hog in a big pig cooker. To this day, my partner and I carry on this North Carolina tradition, and frequently we share with family, friends, and community members. One actually just arrived. Barbecue means togetherness to us. It is especially great for social times like game day. Several people who have enjoyed our barbecue before will be enjoying a meal with us again later tonight. I'll preview our main points: the meat preparation, the cooking process, the barbecue sauce, and the serving suggestions. When it comes to the meat, the cut of meat that we use is a pork shoulder, also known as a Boston butt, and is usually between 8 and 10 pounds. We trim the meat by removing unnecessary fat. We remove most fat from the top and want to keep some on the bottom to keep some flavor where the fat cap is. Then we rub yellow mustard all over the meat to bind the seasonings to it. We use butt rub blend, Holy Voodoo blend by Meat Church, and paprika as our seasonings. These seasoning blends contain sugar, and the paprika is naturally sweet. A lot of people just use salt, garlic, and pepper, and that'll be okay, but it won't have the same sweetness and flavor that ours does. We finish off with a heavily packed hardcore carnivore beef seasoning layer, which he's doing right now. And that adds spice and creates a really nice, rich, dark crust or bark. And you could add black pepper if you didn't have this available to you to your other seasonings, and just season it really heavily to make that crust. So now I'm going to talk to you about the first half of our cook, when we're initially putting it into the pellet smoker. So the way that we're going to do that is we're going to take the meat, and we're going to be putting it directly onto the fire. When we first start out, we're going to be loading it with our wood pellets, and then we're going to set the temperature at 225 degrees and preheat that smoker. Once it's preheated, we're going to place the meat into the smoker unwrapped and leave it for 6 hours, and we're going to do that so it builds a really nice bark. After 6 hours at 225 degrees Fahrenheit, we'll start spritzing it with a 1-to-1 ratio of apple cider vinegar and water every hour to maintain moisture in the bark. You want the meat and the bark to remain moist and keep that flavor locked in. We're going to smoke it until 165 degrees internal temp is reached. So when you probe it, it needs to be 165 degrees throughout. During the second half of the cook, it's going to be wrapped. And what he's doing right now is he's unwrapping it from the tinfoil, and we're going to show it off how it looks when you wrap it in that butcher's paper. So after it reaches 165 degree internal, you're going to pull it off onto a pan and then wrap it in the butcher paper like that. You're going to set your smoker on a higher temp of 250 degrees, and then put the wrap shoulder back into the smoker until the internal temperature is around between 200 and 205 degrees, and probe tender. When you remove the shoulder and let it rest, you'll let it rest for about 30 minutes on the counter. You can also set it in a cooler for up to about 6 hours, and that should be fine. We actually left this in the cooler for a little bit to really settle in. So this is how it looks wrapped. He's unwrapping it. Now, I'm going to talk to you about the sauce while he gets this all pulled out. This is actually the sauce that we've mixed together for this serving. I usually mix one of my favorite vinegar-based sauces with a sweeter, more Western-style sauce, like Jack Daniel's or Sweet Baby Ray's, in a 2-to-1 ratio. So we want it to be a little bit more vinegary than sweet. Today we're using a mixture of George's Original and Jack Daniel's Honey Barbecue with a splash of plain vinegar added. You can see it's a really beautiful color. You can play around with this stuff to your own taste, but the initial goal is to have it sweet but vinegary. The best store-bought alternative, in my opinion, as is Uncle Yammy's, which you can purchase at places like Piggly Wiggly or order online. When your barbecue is rested, you can serve it. So you can start to shred the meat like he's doing right now. You can either use a shredder, you can use a couple of forks, or you can just use your hands and gloves. This is cooled off enough so it's not going to burn him, so he's using gloved hands. You should do the step cleanly, make sure your area is clean as you saw him wipe it down. And now you can serve it. So barbecue can stand alone on the plate with a couple of sides, or you can pop it on a sandwich with some slaw, or you can just do a little bit of sauce. The meat can even stand alone as is. It's delicious. So we're serving ours today with baked beans, pepper jack mac and cheese, sweet potato pie, and we have some buns and we have some coleslaw on standby. It's gonna be great. So knowing how to smoke a pork shoulder like this is a great skill to help you make an affordable meal for a lot of people. And this twist on North Carolina barbecue is just a really delicious, rich, and cultural staple of a way to do that. So we're gonna do a little taste test. He's gonna pop up a little on his plate with a gloved hand and we're gonna try it. I was gonna get a fork, but I'll do a little test. That's delicious. That's so good. So there you have it. We have North Carolina style pulled pork barbecue, the way Bray makes it. And that concludes our demonstration.